Okay, it is time again for Fun Friday on our road to 100 Fridays of 100 Stitches. Tonight we are going to be learning the brick stitch. The brick stitch is going to look exactly like what it sounds like, a wall of bricks. It's pretty easy. The only stitches that you need to know for it are the single crochet and the elongated single crochet, which we have learned in other videos. If you need to go back and watch those, feel free to go back and watch those. To start the brick stitch, you need to chain 30 plus 2, because you're going to have 2 when you turn around. You're going to be working kind of in a group of 3. And so the first 2 rows, I'm going to use 2 colors because that way you can see the bricks. You can see the bricks and the mortar. So my mortar is going to be the yellow and my bricks are going to be the red. So choose whatever colors you want. You can even use the same mortar color and then make every row of bricks a different color. So you can change colors as many times as you want. But to start out, chain your 32 and then single crochet the next 2 rows, 1 single crochet in each stitch. Then you're going to change colors and do 2 more rows of single crochet all the way down in the second color. So you end up with 4 rows of single crochet, the first 2 in one color and the other 2 in your changed color. Then on row 5, when you turn around, you're going to turn and chain 1, put 2 single crochets in the first 2 stitches, then an elongated single crochet through the first color, then 3 single crochets, then an elongated single crochet, and then 3 single crochets. That's the pattern. So let me show you what that pattern looks like when you're doing it. So I've just finished 3 single crochets. So I'm going to do an elongated single crochet in the next stitch through my first color. And then in the next 3 stitches, 3 single crochets. Then an elongated single crochet for the next stitch. Then 3 single crochets. You're going to keep doing this same pattern all the way down to the end of your row. And it's just the 1 elongated stitch and then the 3 single crochets. And you can see that's starting to make a brick and mortar pattern along the row. Now, I'm going to turn here as if we were going to turn so I can do the video. If I was turning here, I would turn. I'm going to chain 1 and then I'm going to put a single crochet in every stitch all the way to back down my row. So single crochet in every one all the way back down across the row. When I'm changing colors on this particular stitch to do the brick stitch, I do not trim my colors off. I just leave them because you're going to change colors so many times throughout the project that it's easier just to have it where you can grab the thread back up. So I don't ever tie any of my yarn off when I am changing colors. I just leave them hanging there, as you can see. So it's my suggestion that you do that too, especially if you're going to change colors more than once and make the bricks more than one color. Mine are all going to be red, and what is my mortar color is all going to be the yellow. But if you were going to have more than one color, especially throughout the project, just leave them all attached and don't worry about cutting them off. So now we've made it to the end. We're going to do our last 2 single crochets here. I'm going to go in this last one, but I'm going to change color. So again, I'm just going to leave it hanging there, and I'm going to pick up my red, and I'm going to finish the stitch with my red, and then I'm going to turn and chain. And I'm just going to leave the yellow there because I'll be back to get it anyway. So I'm going to chain 1. Now, do the same thing that I did with this row here, and for the next 2 rows, I'm just going to single crochet down and back. One in every stitch, all the way down and all the way back the next 2 rows. So it's a lot of single crocheting, which is a stitch that everybody knows really well. So it should be an easy pattern for everybody to complete. It's a very strong, sturdy pattern. These stitches are tight together. There's no holes or loops or chains or slip stitches or anything like that. So it's a very sturdy, thick pattern. It would be good for pot holders. I don't know that it'd be good for necessarily clothing, because especially if you're using red heart or a medium weight, it's going to be pretty thick and heavy. A blanket, if it was like a throw for a couch or something, would be okay. A decorative pillow would be okay. But again, I'm using that medium weight red heart, and so it's going to be real thick and heavy, because if you'll notice, the stitches are really close together. They're it's a very tight weaved stitch, and so you're probably not going to use it on those kind of things. That would be my only suggestion. If you wanted something really thick like that, you could, by all means, do that. But again, it's going to be a pretty thick and heavy piece, unless you could use a lighter yarn, a more softer yarn. Here I am at my turn. I'm going to turn around, chain 1 again, all the way back, same color, haven't changed color, 1 single crochet all the way back on this row. Again, I'm making those bricks in between the mortar color, and so I'm just making them all single crochet all the way back. You could definitely get a lighter yarn and do this pattern for a baby blanket or something if you wanted to, and it would probably not be so heavy. But this is one of those stitches that is definitely going to take a lot of yarn, and definitely going to be pretty thick. So there's what it looks like as you go. You can see those elongated stitches in between, and you can see we're just doing the 2 rows of single crochet all the way back. And then when we get back every 2 rows, we're going to change colors back to our other color, which I'll show here in just a second when we get back. This is one of those ones that probably is gonna, where they say the slow and steady, because you're really just single crocheting a lot down and back. But it looks so neat and so pretty when you get it a few rows going. Okay, so now I'm back to the end of my row. I'm going to do my 2 end pieces here. Again, in my end one, I'm just going to go in. I'm going to drop my red because I'm changing colors back, and I still have my yellow hooked on. I'm going to finish out the stitch with my yellow, and then I'm going to turn and chain 1. So again, just leaving my red hanging there, and now I've switched colors. Okay, so now we're going to do the mortar part again. This time we're only going to chain the 1 and then do our elongated stitch right here, since it's right after the turnaround. It may be a little difficult, but you're going to put 1 right there and then single crochet in the next 3. You're working the same pattern across. Actually, it's going to be 4, I'm sorry. Single crochet in the next 4. Then this next one is going to be your elongated stitch. Nope, it is 3. I was right. I'm gonna miscounted there. Sorry. 3 across, and then an elongated single crochet. Kind of hard to watch myself crochet through the camera. Then single crochet in the next 3. 2. And then an elongated stitch in your next one. Then single crochet in the next 3. Oh, my yarn got caught there. And then an elongated stitch. Then single crochet into the next 3. And then an elongated single crochet into the next stitch. Then again, 3 single crochets. Okay, I'm going to stop there and let you take a look back. There the bricks are starting to form. And you can see the mortar dipping down through it. So you're going to do 2 single crochet rows of your first color, then 2 rows of single crochet of your second color. Then when you put your original color back on, you're doing 3 single crochets and then a dip down, and then 3 single crochets and then a dip down. And so every time you do that, you'll come back down and do another single crochet row. Then you'll switch to your second color, do 2 rows of single crochet of that color, switch back to your original color and do the 3 single crochets elongated, 3 single crochets elongated. Make sure you're offsetting your bricks. And there is the brick stitch. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, it's something a little different. It uses the single crochet and the elongated stitch that we learned and puts them together to make what would look like a brick wall. If you make something with this stitch or like this stitch or have a neat idea for it, go ahead and message and comment back. And I hope you enjoyed Fun Friday with the new brick stitch this week, and we will see you next week at 9 o'clock. Have a good weekend.